start discussing. Yeah. So we are discussing about the client administration, right? In the client administration, we are discussing about the client administration. Okay. In the client administration, so we have completed the what is client and how to create the client and the logical system creation. So all these things we have completed, right? And also types of client copies, and also we are discussing about the types of client copies. So we have local client copy, and also we have the remote client copy. And the third one is the client export and import option, client export and import option. So for the local client copy, so what do you mean by local client copy? So what is mean by local client copy? So locally means within the system, copying the data from one client to another client. Means within the city. The best example, within the city, within the Hyderabad city, transferring the data from one place to another place. So that is the local client copy. For the remote client copy, that is what we are discussing about the remote client copy. To perform the remote client copy between two systems, we have to perform the remote client copy. Suppose these are the two systems, right? So we have ECD and we have ECP. So these are the two systems, between two systems and between two clients, between two systems and two clients, copying the data, that is called the remote client copy. This is the between two systems, between two cities. So suppose like Bangalore and Hyderabad, like that you can take the one example here, right? But to Bangalore and Hyderabad, there is a connectivity is required, right? What is that connectivity? RFC connectivity, that we have to do it from SM59 is the transaction code to perform the connectivity. So the connectivity also we have the type. If the both are SAP systems, then we can use the SM59 above connections. Suppose the example SM59. So here we have the connection types are there, right? Connectivity types. So we can use either above to above. So external connections, internal connections, TCP/IP connections, whatever the connections we have, we can use those connections to perform the to move the data. Through this connection, the data will be moved. Through this connection, the data will be moved from one place to another place to this connection. Okay, to this connection. To this connection, the data will be moved. To this connection, the data will be moved from here to here. The data will be moved here. Right. So that is what, first of all, before performing the remote client copy, both systems should be connected. Then only through this connection, through this lane, we can transfer, through this wire, we can transfer the data from this client to this system client to from target system and target client we can transfer. That is what we are discussing in the our previous class. Okay. So let me check. We have the two systems here. Okay. Two systems here. Let me create the RFC destination for our target system. Suppose like ECD and ECP we have. I want data from ECD to ECQ. I want to data transfer from ECD to ECQ. For that one, I need to establish the connectivity. So that for that one, what I am doing here, go to the, suppose like ECD, RFC connection, something like I am creating the one connection I am creating. Okay, description fine. Here, the technical system field, here we need to give the host name, our target host name, which host name you are connecting, what is the instance number. Our ECD instance number is 02 and ECP is the 00. Then go to the logon security. Here, what is the language? English. And what is the client you are connecting? Suppose like 001. So suppose what is the user? Maybe DDAC can give it. And what is the password? This logon security fields we have to fill it. So the technical settings and the logon security, both we have to fill it. So then done. So technical settings are to connect to the target system, and logon security is to, after connecting, it will go and place the data. So it will go and place the data means there is some user should be required, some authorization should be required, right? We want to enter into one building, so in that building you should have the some authorized person, right? So that you can log in. That is the reason I mentioned the target system user and their password I have mentioned here. Suppose if you use the connectivity test here, it should be successfully connected, right? It's connected to the ECD system. ECD system, it's connected. So I connected reverse order. So last time we connected from here to here. Now we connected the reverse order, ECP to here. Both the sides you can do the connectivity. Then done. Remote connectivity done. So now we need to perform the remote client copy. I have some data in the ECD. I want to transfer this data from here to here. Then in this case, I have to use the remote client copy. Why? Because here we have the between two systems, right? Here in this case, I will use the SCC9 is the transaction code for the remote client copy. I will tell you one small example how to remember this transaction code, especially for client copies. So I will explain it at the end of the class. I will explain it. It's a very simple actually. Okay, I will explain you. So okay, so SCC9 for the remote client copy transaction code. So for that one, you need to use the RFC like book transaction code. SCC9 is the transaction. Then so what is the selected profile, which data you want to transfer? So we have the data in the form of profiles. So which data you want to transfer? All the data. So there is an option for the SAP is giving option to customers. So data means which data you want to transfer. You want to transfer all the data. No, some people they don't have the requirement to transfer all the data. There is a segregation in the data, right? Data means objects. So which means like users data, profiles data, authorization data, so tables, structures, customization, variants. So there are some kind of lot of stuff is there. So in that one, which one you want to transfer? Suppose I want to transfer the users. I want to transfer the users from there to here, or I want to transfer something like so authorizations and profile. I want to transfer only authorizations and profiles. I want to transfer. So then I selected this profile. So here you can see then the description, which one you are trying to copy. Then go to the destination. So here, which destination? So we have created the destination, right? From ECD system, you have created the destination. Then you can use this destination. So then why? Because we want to pull the data. We want to pull the data from ECD to ECP. So our SAP mechanism is the pull mechanism, not the push mechanism. So means if you want to data, if you need data, you have to log into the target system. You have to execute the SCCL. Then you need to pull from ECD. But sometimes it's a push mechanism. Push mechanism means you have to log into the ECD system, then you need to push the data from ECD2 and ECP. That is the push mechanism. So when you're entering into any one of the shopping mall, there is a push and pull. There is a door option, right? I hope you remember that option. What is mean by push and pull, right? Same option here. So when you enter into the SAP, pull mechanism means you have to go inside and you need to pull it, like you have to log into the target system, then you need to pull the data from ECD to ECQ. So our client copy is the pull mechanism, which means you need to log into the target system, then you need to enter the connection. Then so you can just, this is a test run. Test run means it will not copy the data, it will show the test run, just testing, which means testing the run, which means how much time it will take copy the data, how much time it will take to copy the data. That much of data here it is copying, which means suppose if you just example, if you run the test run, just it will show just it will not copy the data, it will show example how much data it is copying and everything. So here, so you want to check the in the test run, you want to check the resource, how much resource are utilizing, And so simulation mode. So simulation mode, what is mean by simulation? Simulation mode means, so all the data is read but not saved into the database. But resource check means only data will be counted without reading anything. So it's quicker than simulation. So resource check and simulation. So simulation means when you click on the simulation mode, it is testing only. Sometimes we are not sure how much time it will take to copy the data from one client to another client. If it's a 1 TB, how much time it will take? Will it take in the 90% it will be down, or 80% it will down? We are not very sure, right? So for that one, we can do the some testing. Like testing means how much time, approximate test time. So timelines we can get it out by using the testing option. If you use this resource check, here you have the option, data is only counted without being read directly. It's quicker than simulation. Just it will read data, it will be counted how much time, how much data, everything will be done. So just then see here, so how much data copied? So 750 kilobytes, right? So how much time? In 15 seconds it's completed. How many tables? 33 tables. So like that, it is given the data. But just it is giving the data in the test run mode. Just I'm executing in the test run mode to check the my data. Simulation means, so it will read the data, and it will to same as like simulation mode means same as like how the data, real data will be copied, same here it will be processed, but it will not copy the data. Just it will show how much time it will take that much data. Okay, so here data is counted but not read directly. So, but here in the simulation mode, data is read, but it's not saved into the database level. See how much time it is taking. That is the concept of the resource check. And this is testing mode. In case you are not sure how much time it will take, and your manager asked you to perform the timelines, exact timeline, not exactly approximate timelines. The time, so you can use this resource check and simulation mode options in the testing mode. When you are doing in that, when you selected the test mode, data will not be copied. In the test mode, data will not be copied. So that is what we have to do it. So then suppose like approximately 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then we can directly don't select restaurant now, then you can use now, you can select the so connection, then schedule as a background job. So suppose like background job means it will run in the back end. If you run in the start immediately, then it will start. RFC comparison means source and target RFC compare, both are should be in the same version or not, it will give the comparison. It will give the comparison, no inconsistencies, which means both systems should be in the same version. So this is the parallel processing option. So which means, so instead of one resource copying the data, if you use this parallel processing, multiple resources will complete the your work. Multiple resources will complete the your copying the data work. Multiple resources, that is what parallel processing. Multiple processing means sorry guys, here, so schedule as a background job. So select immediately, click on the schedule a job, so which means the data will be scheduled now copied. Now remote client copy is happening now. If we go to SEC3 transaction code, there you can see the logs. You can see the logs. SEC3 is the transaction code. There you can see the logs here. See here the thing is happening here, the processing, the client copy processing is happening. So previously we have completed the test run, so then we have simulation mode executed, but we have cancelled. Now it's processing, the data is getting processed, 12 table out of 33, which means the data is copying from ECD to ECP. Your data is getting copied. Maybe you can see one RFC destination, one connections in the ECD system. The data will be there in the ECD system. You can find out here, ECD system, you can find out the data here. If you go to the SM50, so there you see the were not authorized. Okay, data is copying, right? Maybe I am not the authorized person, I guess. Yes, yes, right. So normally it should not allow me to log in, but here it's throwing the error like you are not the authorized person. That is what it is saying that. So okay, not a problem. Here you can monitor the status here, what exactly happened here, all the information here. See here. So 33, so 12 out of 33 tables are copied here. So the data is getting copied here. So 12 out of 33 tables are getting copied here. So in this case, so you can see the resource utilization and the users, all the information we can find out here. So here also I'm getting you are not authorized person like that the thing here. Oh, what happened? Maybe okay. The thing is, right? So we are copying this authorization profiles and roles. We are copying from ECD to ECP. We are copying. So until the copy is done or until happens, then so we will not execute any transaction. Why? Because the authorization profiles and security related things are copying now. So that's why we are unable to execute any transaction now from any transaction in ECD or ECP. We are unable to execute any transactions. So that is what we hear. It is happening here, right? So that is what. Let me log in with 000 other client. We can log in and we can compare the results here. Other clients we can log in and we can compare it. So let me log in with DDIC. I think it is logging in. It is logging in here. So here you can see here how many AL08 list of all users logged on users list we can find out here what exactly here. So and I think let's see the data is copied or not. If you go to SCC3 is the transaction code. I think it's locked against login. The client copy probably cancelled or something is happened. So you have reset the lock here. So it got cancelled. It got cancelled here. So something like that. It got cancelled. Unnecessarily we selected the wrong profile we selected. So that is the reason it's copied. Okay. So that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Okay. This is one experience only. But yeah, this is the way we have to perform the remote client copy. Remote client copy means between two systems, copying the data from one client to another client. Any data you can copy, any system, any client, from any client to any client, you can transfer the data. That is the remote client copy. So that is the remote client copy. Before creating the remote client copy, what is the mandatory preparation activity we have to perform? Anyone can jump in?
RFC connection.
So why we need RFC connection? RFC connection means
To
one tunnel.
trans
RFC connection means one tunnel from RFC connection is one tunnel from one system to another system is the one tunnel here. So that so to this tunnel, how the water, so to this tunnel, how the water, so to the water tunnel, how the water will flow from source to target, same as like here also the data will flow from here to here, the data will flow from ECD to ECP, the data will flow here. So that is what, okay, that is what will happen here. Same as like, so anything, not only for client copies, we need only data, not only here. Suppose you want to execute the some job on the target system, definitely you need so RFC connection. So through this RFC, the data will flow. So the data will flow. Suppose you need some data. You don't want to copy, you need only some tables. That time RFC connection between two, if you want to process the data flow, so definitely RFC connection is required here. That is what we have done. Why? Because remote destination, remotely you have to copy from each system to this system. So both are in the different cities, different zones. How? Means RFC connection we have to create it. Through RFC connection we have to perform this one, right? That is what remote client copy. So Any questions from anyone regarding the remote client copy and the local client copy?
Sir, hi sir, good morning. This is Parmala.
Yes, Paramila.
Sir, do we have two systems here? I mean, do we have two servers here?
We have the two servers, right? ECD and ECP, two systems are there. You can see. That's why we created the ECD as well,
Sir,
right?
I mean, two servers. Means each system is
Not
installed
in the
on a
sub,
separate server, sir.
it's not installed on the separate server. It's installed on the same operating system. That is possible, right? So we can install SAP multiple SIDs. We can install on the same operating systems. So host name is same, but only instance number is different
Sir,
and
if it
SID.
is with, okay.
But host name,
Sir, if it is in the same system, it is called as a local client copy, right?
how it is, but your SID is different, right? Your SID is different, right? ECD
Okay,
and ECP. But
okay, sir.
operating, so one operating system. So few customers in one operating system, they can install multiple SIDs. We can install it. That is, we can provision the multiple SIDs. It is not like that all systems are same. It's a separate systems. So why? Because to maintain the infrastructure cost and everything, few customers what they will do, all non-production systems they will maintain in the one operating systems. Then production system is in the different operating system. Why? Because if you put separate servers, you need to bear with the operating system cost, maintenance cost, network cost. So all these costs are more. So some customers they don't want to. So cost should be increased. So that what they will do within the same host, multiple SIDs we can create it. The host is same, but SID instance number is different here, which means both are not the same. It's a different one. It's a different one. Both are
Okay,
different
okay, sir.
clients,
Thank you, sir.
different users, different data, different SID in the both are different actually. But in our case, it's also different. But as I mentioned, so our people uh, installed on the same database and same tenant they have given for ECD. That's not a problem. Why? Because we are just practicing. That's not a problem. Yeah. Someone asking something. It's very,
So local client copy is inside the same instance, right? So for
yeah.
example,
Yes.
within the dev system, we are copying and creating one more,
Yeah.
right?
Right. So local means
Okay.
this is our system, right? ECD system. This is our ECD system here. This is our ECD. So suppose ECP or XYZ or ABC, whatever. So we have the clients here, 000, 001. And one fine day, you started creating the new client for your business. That is called the new client you have created here. So new client you created. This is the 000 client. Okay, why? Because each and every client is separate here. The business is separate here, but both are 000 and 001 are the different clients. So why? These are the master client. It will come as part of the SAP installation. So these are it will contain the master data. So, but you need to create the one client, that is the 100 client or 200 client or 300 client, whatever the client you have to create it. So our client numbers should be like, so 000 999, any client you can create it. But the 000 and 001 clients, it will come as part of the installation. So so you cannot create those clients. It will be there. So apart from that, this through remaining clients, any number you can put into the system, right? So same as like here. So you created the 100 client, but unfortunately I have the data here in the, so here I have the some table, some data, something is there here in my, here some data is there here, some country code is there here. So if you want to create again here 100 client, it will take one more month. Why? Because you affected 1 month here, but again if you affect in 1 month, there is no sorry. In this case, what we can do here, so there is an option SAP is providing, client copy, which means, so you can copy the data from in this client to in this client, you can copy the data. Locally, you can copy the data. Why? Because you have the requirement only within the system between two clients to copying the data. That is called the local client copy, local machine, locally. So within the Hyderabad city, from like Amirpet to so Miapur, whatever it may be, Albil Nagar, you can call you're copying the data within the city. So that time you no need destination. We have the internal connections. Internally, it will manage it. Internally, we have the transport. Internally, we have the roads. Internal city, we have the roads, and that will manage. We no need highway cities and highway roads not required here. So that is the internal local client copy. Okay, this is a one system. So remote means my requirement is not in this system. I have data in other remote system. Suppose like I have the one more system here. I have the one more client here. I want to copy this client to this client. That time we have to establish the remote client copy, remote client connectivity. You have to establish and transfer the data. That is what remote client copy. Both are same usage is same, copying the data from one client to another client. If you copy from within the system, that is the local client. If you copy from outside of the system, means different SID, that is called the remote client copy.
And when do you need export and import?
Yeah,
What are the reasons
yeah,
why you need?
I'm coming to that part only. Yeah. So now the next one is we are going to discuss about the export and import, right? This is one last client copy method. Client export and import method. Client export and import method. So when we have to use client export and import method, this is also like between two systems only. Suppose like here we have the one system, here we have one more system is available. So it is quietly same. It's exactly same for local client copy only. It's remote client copy only. So both the systems will use the common trans directory at operating system level. Operating system level, it will use the common trans directory. So exporting means exporting the data to OS level. Suppose like example, this is our ECD client. This is our ECP system. So SID is different here. SID is different. So my data, suppose this is also like copying the data from the main bottom line here, copying the data from here to here. Same. This is also like here. But here, for remote client copy, for copying the data from one system to another system, what we discussed in the previously, we need remote client copy, we need remote destination, we have to create it, we have to transfer it. Direct transfer you are doing from here to here, direct transfer you are doing. So that is fine, so you are copying remotely, you are copying the data, that is fine. But your data size is more than so 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte, more than 1 terabyte, but you have some network issues. So what happens? If the client copy got cancelled in the middle, whatever the data copied, that will be gone, right? It will create some noise. Why? Because 1 terabyte database means it will take a lot of time, and it 99% your client copy got cancelled due to some network issues. It got cancelled. So which means again you have to reinitiate, you have to resume it. Yeah, so it will take a lot of time, and also it's not suggestible way more than if the database size is more than 1 terabyte, it's not suggestible to do with the remote client copy. Why? Because so we are not sure when the network glitch happen, temporary network happens, when we are not in the, no one cannot predict that one, right? So that's why SAP so introduced the one more method is called the client export and import method, which means so if you have the more than 1 terabyte data, you cannot directly copy here. That is your wish. If you want to use this method, you can use this method. So otherwise, there is a export method, which means you can export the data from ECD to and your local file systems, you can export it. Which means local file system means trans directory. It will come as part of the so installation, this trans directory, USRSAP trans. So the more details about the trans directory we will discuss during the transport administration. Now we are in the client administration, transport administration, it will come here. Okay, trans directory. It will store the data in the file system level. This is called the export method, export import business. Then from here to here, we will do the import here, import method. From here to here, we will do the import. So but this is the two-way mechanism. Means you are doing the export. Once export completed, then you are using the import method. For export, we will use here SCC8 is the transaction code. For import, we have to use the SCC7 is the transaction code for the import. SCC7 is the transaction code for the import. So this is what, so we have to do it, export and import method. Okay, export SCC8 and import SCC7 is the transaction code. Okay, transaction codes that we know, but what is the use of export import method when we have to use? So whenever your data size is more than 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte or 1.5 terabyte, that time, so your network bandwidth is very low, maybe you can use this export and import method. So which means, so you can export into the local file system, data is safe here, then from here to here you can import it here. While importing, it is cancelled, then you can just, data is here in the safe mode here, then you can transfer data to here you can, but this is a two-way mechanism, but this is a direct mechanism, which means I will tell you the one example here. So I'm planning to travel from, so I'm planning to hand over one data, like one parcel is the data here, from, so Hyderabad to Bangalore, I want to transfer one data here. So directly I can transfer it, right? Directly I will just start my bike and directly I will go and hand over the data parcel in. So directly I can directly you are copying the data. That is means, so direct transfer, which means remote client copy. Directly you are only giving, you are only thing is giving, handovering, delivering everything here. But no, I don't want to directly, I want to go. I will go middle one point, like Anantapur or Jadcherla is the junction, right? For the in Hyderabad to Bangalore, there is a middle Kurnool or Anantapur, whatever it may be, there is a city. So there, from there, I will start from Hyderabad. I will export from there. I will export. I will there. So which means, so in middle, I will export. From here, one person will collect. That person will hand over directly deliver to the ECP system. This is called the export and import method. Suppose you booked the one order in the Amazon, right? So then that order directly, the is directly will come from Amazon to you, no, right? So that it will first of all go down. From there, everything will be shifted to the, everything will be exported to the one go down in the local center. In that go down is called the this local center. That is the USRSAP trans. From there, so the delivery person will pick and will hand over to you, right? That is what will happen here in the ECP system, right? Same like that here also. So this is the direct transfer using the SCC9 remote client copy direct transfer. So here we have the some complications, like you are trying to transfer, that is fine, everything is went smooth, that is fine, but due to some network issues, your data got cancelled in 98 or 90%. It got cancelled. Means you wasted already 2 days time to copy the data, everything you set everything, but it got cancelled, your time limits are less. So that time you can use the export and import method. Sorry. In this case, you can export, import. This is a safe zone, but time taking process. Why? Because you have to wait until export, then you have to import it, right? Time taking process, but there is secure process. Why? Because if you have the data missed in middle, in that if you some data is missed network level, we are not sure. So when the network connection broken, when the packets will last, so that time, so here data is safe in the trans directory. From here to here, you can directly import it. So that is what export and import method. Did you guys understand my point here? Any questions? Any confusion here from anyone? Clear, right? Export and import. Normally, we will see the export import business, right? Same as like export import business. So you know, right? Export import. Your export import means you are not directly handovering. You are not directly handovering to the target.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's very simple actually. Export and import and direct transfer. This is the like client administration. So now we'll do practically how this will work here. So that we will do now. So let's log in, same as like, let me open here. Okay. So SCC8 Okay, so which means like let's see now transaction code SCC8 is the transaction code to perform the local remote client copy. I think the screen is loading. Yes, I think here we go to SCC8. Okay, SCC8 is the transaction code. Okay, so client export here also we need to select the profile. Here also we need to select the profile, then select the target system, then schedule as a background job. Simple. So it's simple. The procedure is same. That profile you need to select it. So from there in the remote client copy you need to select the destination. But for here you need to choose the so that here you need to choose the so here you need to choose the target system. What is the target system here? The target system you need to choose it, and target client you need to choose it. So that system and that client you need to choose it here. Then schedule as a background job, start immediately, schedule job. So then that will continue here. See here, some data is creating, some transport requests are creating at operating system level. It is creating the some transport request in the trans directory. If you go to the USR, so SAP SID trans, under the trans, if you go to the co file, so here it is creating the trans directory. Let me just click on OK button. Then the background job is scheduled, which means the data transports will happen here. The transport will happen to here in the trans directory in the data folder and co file. Inside, if you go deeply, the files will be generated in the trans directory. So just you can remember trans directory. So what does it mean by all the folders? Means it will come as part of the next topic, transport management system. That is the next topic we are going to discuss. That where you will get more details about the trans directory, right? So here you can see, here you can go to the we have scheduled in the background job. The job will continue to run, or you can go to the SM37. You can see the status here. You can see the status here, whether the job is completed or not. But still the client export is active. Still it is active, means the job is running here. So which means you can go to the SCC3. So there also you can see the client copy logs here. The client copy logs you can find out here. Here it is processing status. It is processing, which means data is getting copied here. The data is getting copied here. This is the way we have to do the export. And same as like you can use the import method. You can just connect to the system, then you can use the import method. You can use it. So it is like same nothing. So it is copying the data. So once it is copied, once the data is copied, then we have to do the so we have to do the import option. We have to do the import. See here, one data file is generated. Previously we have the two. Here we have rt0004.ecp file is generated, which means client exporting the data is getting exported here. So it will take some time. Why? Because here once it is exported, then we have to import the process. So that is why it's a time consuming process, and two ways we have to perform it here in the client export and import. Two ways we have to perform it, means two ways. One is the export and second one is the import option. We have to execute it. Okay, client export and import methods we have to use it here. That is the client export import method. So sometimes they may ask you during the interview point of time or during the manager, which one is preferable method. So which one is if you want to cancel, you can cancel it here. There is a cancel button. It will be cancelled client copy. So unfortunately, I have scheduled. I want to cancel, means you can also still cancel it. That is possible. So if you want to continue, you can continue as well. So all options are there. If you go inside button, so if you open the transaction code, you have the all the options are there. You can use it all the options. Okay, this is the export. Import also you can use the same, like SCC7 is the transaction code, and there you need to select the transport request number and you can use it. Okay, you can use the transaction code, you can use it. So let me log in here. Some authorization issue. We can use another client, any client you can export it. So from one system to another system, you can export and you can import, you can perform it. So that's why, so we can use these options, client export and import methods. Okay, so SCC7 is the transaction code for the export and import. So the target client is the production client. I think we set as the production client, protected against the client copy. So which means, so in the client copy settings, so we discussed about the client settings, right? In the client settings, so we have configured this one. We have in the client settings, we have the option. So we have option, no changes are allowed and no overwriting, means during the client copy, no overriding. So which means here the data, so your the settings are preventing you to copy the data. So which means no overriding possible, which means no restriction. Just you need to make it the protection level 0 and thing. Sometimes what happens when you are performing the client copy, depends upon your client settings, you are not in the position to copy the data, it will be failed. So why? Because your client settings, why? Because the client is allowing to copy the data, so then that is fine. If the client is not allowing, then that will be failed here. So that is the thing here. So settings are the very important here, client settings are the very important here. So that is what we discussed in the client creation time, right? So how to create the client settings, open, close, all these things we discussed. Same as like here as well, here also we use the settings. Now I think it's not still reflected, I guess. SCC4. Oh, no changes are allowed. We put like some no changes are allowed, right? No changes are allowed. That is the reason. So, which means, so no one cannot copy, write, do any changes in the system. It's not allowed. So that is the reason. So I changed it here. Then I go back. SCC7 is the transaction code. Still is a production client. So yeah, I think yes, I got it now. Why it is showing the error now? Go to the change mode. So you may face this type of issues. So in this case, what you have to do, you need to change the client role and settings. You need to carefully, you need to check that one. You need to carefully check that settings. Then so you need to carefully check. See here. So in ECP, we have we have exported, right? In ECP system, this is a ECP system. We have exported the data. The data is exported. The request number is called the 0004. But when you log into the D system, here it's showing like that. So okay, this is the export import method. So the data which is exported system, the export timelines, which profile used, and this is a request you want to import. You want to import here ECP to ECD, want to import. Yes, I want to import. Then you schedule a background job. Then you schedule a background job done. So he see here data is created with certain size data created here. So OS level, operating system level, co-files and data files got generated. Okay, so this is the way the data is. So we can perform the client export import methods, we can perform it. and remote client copy. Remote client copy, just to open the SCC9, you can select the profile, you can transfer, but export import, you need to export it. Then you have to wait either the 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 day, you have to wait. Once export is done, then you have to go to the remote system. Then you need to import it. So this is the SCC7 is the transaction code. SCC8 is the client export method, export and import method. So this is about the client administration, client copy mechanisms. Yeah. Got it? Export import method. So few things like to remember SCC3 to write it here, all the client copy. So client copy logs here we can see SCC3 and SCC4. So client creation. Then sale or BD54 for the logical system creation, right? Then so SCCL, L means local, right? Local client copy. Then SCC9, that is for the remote client copy. Then SCC8 for the client export method. So then SCC7, so client import. So SCC5, that is for the client deletion. It's a very dangerous transaction code. Client deletion. If you are deleting the client means all the data gone. All the data is gone. So SCC5. So don't do this one. So because if you do this one, all the data, client, everything will be gone. We will be fired. We will be fired in the company. So because if you are deleting the data, if you have the proper approval, that is fine. If you don't have proper approval, then so that will be a problem here. That will be a problem here. So that is the reason. Okay. So client deletion, export, import, these are the transaction code. So all client copy related starts with the SCC. 3 for logs, 4 for creation. L means local client copy. So remote client copy means why sir they have given the 9 means I am not sure, but if you want to remember the easily, so if you remember R, if you turn the left side, it is the 9, right? R 9, if you turn the right side, it is the R. So export means if you cut 8 into the horizontally, means it's horizontally or vertically, it will come E, right? 8 means E8, right? A1, B2, C. So something like that. E8, if you want to remember, simple remember purpose, I'm telling. 7 means import, which means in the third letter, so I is like 7. 5 means deletion. So how you want to remember, you can remember, but this is the way I can remember the all these client copy transaction codes and everything. Okay, so this is about the client administration. So we have more to discuss about the trans directory also. This is linked to the next topic is called the transport management system. That is called the SAP STMS transport management system. This is also one of the big topic, very, very important topic. Okay, client copies we may get or we may not get, but the STMS concept, that is very, very important concept. Okay, so keep practicing. We try to enter the transaction code, see the how the screens looks like and what is the profiles and everything, then that will be good. Okay, is it okay for everyone? So tomorrow we'll discuss about the transport management system. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. If any questions from anyone? If nothing, so then we can wind up the call for today.
Where we can define IGS connection. So
IGS, what is meant by IGS? IGS, you are asking about the IGS, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, that is the separate different topic. I will explain. If no question, no one has any questions about the, so this client copy, I will answer the